This is TradeFlow News, bringing you relevant news and insights from around the world. TradeFlow News, enabling trade for SMEs and economies worldwide.
These are some of the key topics that we will be looking into in today's program.
First, let's take a look at the overnight headlines which are impacting the commodity markets.
Oil prices bounced back on Thursday after dropping by more than $1 a barrel the previous day, supported by stronger fuel demand data from the United States, the world's top oil consumer. Brent crude futures rose by 56 cents, or 0.7%, to $76.97 a barrel by 0330 GMT, while U.S. crude futures rose 53 cents, also up 0.7%, to $73.09. A sharper-than-expected drop in U.S. gasoline inventories boosted prices, reflecting stronger demand for transport fuels in the U.S. However, investors remained cautious as rising global interest rates continue to drive recessionary fears.
U.S. crude oil stockpiles rose unexpectedly last week due to another release from national reserves and a drop in exports, while gasoline inventories fell more than forecast as demand jumped, the Energy Information Administration said on Wednesday. Crude inventories rose by 3 million barrels in the week to May 5 to 462.6 million barrels, compared with analysts' expectations in a Reuters poll for a 900,000 barrel drop. The Strategic Petroleum Reserve drew down for a sixth straight week, falling 2.9 million barrels last week to 362 million barrels, their lowest since October 1983.
Moving on to the top news in the energy sector.
Russia has started diesel exports to Chile, expanding its oil products supplies to Latin America after a European Union embargo forced traders to find new outlets, market sources said and Refinitiv Econ data showed. According to Refinitiv data, 2 cargoes loaded in April in Russia's Baltic port of Primorsk with about 73,000 tons of diesel heading to Guayaquil port in Chile. Since the EU embargo on importing oil products of Russian origin went into effect in February, Russia has diverted its seaborne diesel supplies to Asia, Africa, the Middle East and increasingly to Latin America.
The White House on Wednesday called on Congress to pass permitting legislation that would help speed up clean energy and fossil fuel projects as the bipartisan effort gets pulled into a standoff on the debt ceiling. The renewed push on permitting reform comes the day after President Joe Biden met with top Republican and Democratic lawmakers for the first time in 3 months to avoid a historic default on U.S. debt that the Treasury Department has warned could come in weeks. Republicans have made permitting reform a priority, and Biden, who last year supported a bill from Senator Joe Manchin, a fellow Democrat, indicated on Tuesday to House Speaker Kevin McCarthy that he was open to discussing the issue as part of the talks. Next, we have the top news in metal markets. The share of Russian aluminium stocks in warehouses registered with the London Metal Exchange, LME, fell slightly, to 52% of the total in April, or 256,125 tons, from 53% in March. Data on the exchange's website showed on Wednesday. The aluminium market has been watching the share of Russian metal, used in transport, construction and packaging, in LME-registered warehouses this year as some consumers are staying away from the Russian metal since Moscow invaded Ukraine. Overall, aluminium stocks of the world's oldest exchange and largest market for industrial metals are up 27% so far this year to 570,150 tons.
Gold prices were little changed on Thursday, but prospects of a pause in the U.S. Federal Reserve's rate hike cycle and economic worries added luster to safe haven bullion's outlook. Spot gold held steady at $2,031.10 per ounce as of 0612 GMT, while U.S. gold futures were flat at $2,037.50. While gold remains supported overall, it doesn't look overly happy at these highs and investors seem quick to book profits with any break above $2,050 for now, said Matt Simpson, senior market analyst at Citi Index.
We will now look at the top news in the agricultural sector.
India on Thursday clarified that duty-free imports of soy oil and sunflower oil shipped before March 31st would be allowed until the end of June, after hundreds of thousands of cargoes were stuck at ports over confusion over import rules. Earlier this year, The world's biggest importer of vegetable oils scrapped a duty-free imports quota of 2 million tons of crude sunflower oil and soy oil for this fiscal started on April 1st. But the move stuck cargoes of around 90,000 tons at Indian ports and another 180,000 tons in transit that were loaded before the government deadline of March 31st, dealers said.
That is all for today's news on commodity markets. Stay tuned to TradeFlow News as we continue to provide you with more updates. We also invite you to follow us on Twitter at TradeFlow News, which allows you to watch our program on your mobile device or desktop to receive information from there.